Hello, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your full moon in Aquarius message. It is a general collective reading. So as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Well, Aries, for you, this is lighting up your 11th house of community, friendships, and long-term dreams. You are being asked to review and then release any toxic dynamics you have within your social circles or your networks. If a group or collaborative effort no longer aligns with you and your future vision, you are being asked at this time to step away and to find your true tribe. So with all of that now, let's get into the Urban Crow Oracle deck, see what message source has for you, and then we'll go a little deeper with tarot. Tapping into the Aries collective now, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is their full moon in Aquarius message for the Aries collective? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have Risk, card number 41. The clams on the rock presented an interesting opportunity for the daring crow. Despite the raging waves that threatened to pull the crow into the water, the bird held its position long enough to grab a piece of clam meat. You may need to assess if the reward is worth the risk, and if it is, now may be the time to take a chance on something you desire. Risk brings to your awareness an opportunity that others might forego out of fear. As a result, you may discover there is less competition, opening the door for you to succeed more easily. Tell me more about Risk here for the Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, and how this pertains to their full moon in Aquarius message. Why is card number 41, Risk, their full moon in Aquarius message for the Aries collective? One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Ten of Wands, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Three of Cups. The bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay. Tell me why the Ten of Wands is here. Tell me why the Ten of Wands is here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Ten of Wands is clarified by the Knight of Wands, the Sun, and the Four of Swords. Queen of Swords. Why is the Queen of Swords here for Aries? Why is the Queen of Swords here for Aries? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Queen of Swords is clarified by Four of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. And why is the Three of Cups here for Aries? Why is the Three of Cups here for Aries? Let's get one more shuffle here. Thank you. The Three of Cups is clarified by Judgment, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Tower. Definitely going to clarify that Tower. Bottom of the deck, the Eight of Pentacles. Let's clarify that Tower further, please. Clarify the Tower, please, for Aries. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Okay, it fell face up, so we're going to take them. The Tower is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. At the bottom of the deck now, we have the Eight of Cups. So Aries, when we're looking at the Risk card and the cards on the table in respect to that 11th house, and I have the Aries chart up. If you see me looking to the left, I have a monitor there. So looking at your chart and seeing how the full moon in Aquarius is lighting up that solar house for you, the 11th house of community, friendships, and long-term dreams. I feel like whatever social groups that you currently have or networks, something here that you are involved in on a regular basis has become quite burdensome for you in that Ten of Wands. It's like there's a part of you in the Knight of Wands here where You still have some type of interest in whatever this is. There is some kind of passion here involved with this community group or social group. And this could even be within like the dynamic of like a friend circle. So there's still some like passion or excitement. There's still a part of you that likes the engagement with this group of people, okay? Because we're looking at groups here. The issue is although it makes you very happy, that Knight of Wands to the Sun card, like you like your participation or you like your association with this group of people, it's also becoming increasingly difficult for you to maintain this network or to maintain this circle or maintain this group of friends. In the Four of Swords, it's like you do so much for them that you're constantly tired. It's like being part of a community group. Let's say like a, I don't know, like a clean up your town community group. And it's just an example I'm being given. And maybe they meet once a month. And the group has like 100 members, but only 3 people show up and you're one of the 3. And it's like, even though you like the engagement, you like being part of the group, you like going out there once a month and cleaning up your neighborhood, the fact is you're exhausted because there are other people in the group that are not pulling their weight. And so the Ten of Wands is telling me there's a lot of responsibility with this association that you have. And when you're done with whatever project or collaboration that you're doing with them, you're depleted. This would even be like having a friend circle where you're the go-to person. Everyone comes to you for something, but you really don't have anyone within that group to go to. So there's like a drain of your energy here with a particular group of people in your life. And I think you know this already, because if you've seen my readings before, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. Please click subscribe so you're notified of the readings that I release. I try to do 36 to 48 readings every week for free here on YouTube. So for me, queens exist in the present, and they process what is going on currently, and they also process the past. And kings take action. It's not hierarchical or masculine versus feminine. It's just how I see a suit of cards. And so I see you here, whether you're masculine or feminine, and yes, I'm well aware that you are a fire sign, cardinal fire sign, no less. But you're sitting here assessing that I put a lot into this dynamic. We're going to call it a dynamic from here on out so we don't, get confused. I see you assessing if this is your message. You're like, I put a lot into this dynamic. But the Four of Pentacles says, I've been part of whatever this is, this friend circle, again, this social group, community group, whatever this is here for you. I've been part of it for a long time. Like it's part of my foundation in that Four of Pentacles. But the Two of Wands to the Three of Pentacles says, you often question whether or not you should continue working, collaborating with these individuals. So Source is saying that you have an opportunity now coming up, and maybe for some of you, it's already, it's already within view for you, but you have an opportunity here. And if you don't have it, it's coming in within the next 3 months, where you can move away from this group and move towards another group. Because this seems like, yes, it's part of your foundation. Yes, it's part of your stability, but you're like a workhorse here for this, this dynamic, okay? You're definitely the workhorse here, and you know this. You could take a risk and decide to no longer associate with them and instead find this other group of people, this other tribe here. That's what's waiting for you. This is Three of Cups. There's enjoyment here. There's celebration. We are all coming together to work on this, and then we are all celebrating the friendship, the community event. If you make the judgment call to do this, there are a lot more hands here helping. So you leave this community group where, again, maybe they have 100 members and you're one of 3 who shows up. And then you join this community group. Again, it's just an example I'm being given. And it has 100 members. Look at that 10 of Pentacles. All 100 members show up. So there's something like that here. And the Tower moment is you recognizing, I put too much into this. So I'm going to, 8 of Cups, walk away from this. King of Swords, remember what I said, kings take action. So I see this for what it is. It's a bit toxic. And that Devil card to the Hierophant, it's a bit toxic. Yes, it's part of my foundation, but because I give more than what I receive, there's no reciprocity, and all it does is deplete me. Maybe it depletes you financially even. Who knows? Maybe you go from 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Maybe, again, going back to that community cleanup group as an example, maybe you're the one buying all the garbage bags or all the gloves or all the cleaning supplies, But there's definitely a depletion here, and you're recognizing this. So your message here is to see very clearly and to decide to no longer associate with that dynamic. and instead move towards this dynamic. Because the minute you disassociate yourself from this dynamic comes in. Like once you make that judgment call, the universe is like, Aries finally knows their worth and value. We're going to bring them people who also recognize their worth and value. So the Knight of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands, it's like you could go out there and discover people who give you the reciprocity that that particular group, tribe, friend circle, social network currently does not. But it would require you taking a risk. And again, with that Hierophant now to the Four of Pentacles, and even with that Capricorn energy of the devil, this has been in your life for a long time. I mean, for some of you, maybe you know this friend or this group of people for 7+ years. And so, yeah, it would be difficult for you to move on from them. But what is waiting for you to be discovered are individuals who value you enough to show up and give you what you give them. Whoever this is, that's not what's happening here. There's no reciprocity here. And as excited as you are to show up on, community cleanup day, the truth is you're cognizant of the fact that it is depleting you. Whether that's energetically, spiritually, emotionally, financially. So you have an opportunity here to see this for what it is and to move on from it. Can we get anything else on this? And then I'll get you some advice. And I did cleanse the Moonology decks last night before, I was setting up for this reading. So I'll also get you a Moonology card here as well, since this is the full moon in Aquarius reading. Anything else we need to know about how Aries can disassociate themselves from that dynamic? How can Aries disassociate themselves from that dynamic? And look, I mean, I don't see anything here where it's a particular relationship, like a marriage or a long-term committed partnership. I mean, it could be for some of you. But because we're looking at your 11th house, this is community, friends, and your long-term dreams. And when you look at your long-term dreams, and we're talking long-term now, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, can you really continue to put in 10 of Wands effort into this dynamic? Because you're already exhausted now. So what happens when we tack on a couple of decades of years to however old you are? Are you going to be able to sustain this? So how can Aries move away from this dynamic? One more shuffle here. Thank you. How can you move away from them? Hierophant, that's how they showed up before. I mean, it's possible for one of you watching it's a marriage. It doesn't have to be, but this is an institution as well. And it doesn't have to be institution of marriage. It could be governmental, community, but it has been a staple in your life. The moon, there's that full moon, and the Hermit. Wow. Bottom of the deck, the Eight of Pentacles. This is going within the energy of the full moon in Aquarius and doing a real honest assessment of this tribe, if you will, this dynamic, and be honest with yourself. Do a little soul searching here. Is it time to walk away from this dynamic? Maybe your vision or your mission or the goals here, whatever they have, whatever it has, maybe just no longer aligns to who you are. And you're the go-getter, right? This is like, oh, there's something to be had here. I'm the first one up. I'm the first one there in that Sun card, right? Sun pops up and there's Aries. So how can you disassociate yourselves from here? Utilize the energy of the full moon in Aquarius to do a bit of a deep dive here, some soul searching here, and be honest with yourself that dynamic is no longer working for you. But what is working for you would be this dynamic. It's energetically waiting for you here in the future, but you need to take a risk to move towards it. Let's get you 3 cards of advice, and then we'll close it out with the Moonology card. 3 cards of advice here, please, for Aries. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice. The 9 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, there's that 4 of Swords. So there is something here about you being honest with yourself and have some patience during this process. This isn't like you contemplating this for 5 minutes and walking away. When we see that Hierophant, the devil we had before, the 4 of Pentacles, this has really been a staple in your life. So you coming to the conclusion that you need to walk away from it isn't going to occur within 5 minutes. So if we look at the Nine of Swords in terms of an advice card, it is telling you to have some patience with yourself, to have hope that there is something better, because the Nine of Swords technically is like worry and negativity, and there's no hope. But when we're looking at it from an advice spread, it's almost like we can view it as it being upside down. And if it is in the reverse, then it is telling you that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and this is it. And to have faith and hope that there's something better out there for you. The Six of Swords would be telling you to move towards something that is better for you. And the Seven of Cups is saying once you make that decision, you have all of these cups now suddenly show up for you. And you get to choose who, you participate with in the future. So just because you walk away from this, your advice here is don't think that that's the last dynamic you're going to have in your life. You're going to have a multitude of choices and groups and friend circles to choose from. But it requires you to get in that boat and leave that behind and take a risk. Let's get a Moonology card here, please, for Aries to close out this message. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your Moonology card kind of jumped out of my hand. Emotions are running high. Super moon. And at the bottom of the deck, we have your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. I think your hard work has been paying off. Unfortunately, I think that they have been the benefactor of it and not you. So sure, no one's going to rock the boat here. No one's going to ever tell you that you're doing too much and that they're doing too little. So has your hard work paid off? Yes, I'm sure whatever this dynamic is, it shines. Because you shine. You bring the shine here. You bring the shine here, Aries. And I think once you start ruminating on this and you realize how much of a discrepancy there has been in respect to what you give and what you receive, you might get a little heated. You might get a little hot under the collar there, my dear. Emotions may be running high. And you should use then that surge of emotion to pivot and move in another direction. That is what I have for you, Aries. That is your full moon in Aquarius message. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.